How did everything go for you, Longy, over the weekend with your match sim, and how do you feel your place now as a team?
It was good. Yeah, we got out of it pretty well, I think, from an injury point of view. Is, like I said to the players, is an important step forward. We've been doing a lot of match sim since pre-Christmas, which is probably the earliest we've been ramping up our match sim. But to go into intra-club format, it adds a little bit more weight on performance. You sort of tend to go through a mini in-season week, and you sort of start having some pre-game meetings and sort of trying to ramp up that. So all that, lifts the outcome pressure and makes it a bit more of a moment. And I thought, we had some really good moments. Some of the things we've been working on across the pre-season are starting to shine through. Like I said before, playing against yourself's really frustrating at times, because if your offense is doing something good, that means your defense is being let down, and you're trying to code both teams can be a bit frustrating. So we've got one more intra-club, and then get into the real stuff of playing other teams, which would be nice.
What were the individual performances that pleased you most?
There's a lot, and when you're looking at two teams, I think Luke and Sean and both played well. I think our mids, starting to form a really good relationship with Jagger coming in, and some good cohesion there, and there's some good individual performances through the middle of the ground. With Caleb looks like he's taken a step forward in his game and becoming a real leader and key performer in there. And then guys that have been really good all pre-season, Youngie, and they took another step forward as well in their prep. So it's hard to get into individual performances because you feel like you leave someone out. Like I said before, the performances are starting to become real, and they mean something. And everyone's in this battle for a spot in the team round one. So it's going to be a good 3 weeks.
Just the healthiest you remember the list? I don't really remember many players missing at the moment. Emmett and Wagner and a few of the sort of fringe guys, but it doesn't feel like there's too many from the best 22 last year missing at the moment.
Yeah, we're in a good spot. Yeah, and never like to get too far ahead of yourself because we're still a month away from round one. But we're in a good spot, and some of the guys that missed large chunks of last pre-season have done a lot of work. Two being Fifey and Tabs that probably stand out. So, so far so good. Still got some important fitness work to get in before round one, so hopefully we can maintain that healthy list.
Are there many that missed Saturday that get a run on Friday?
There might be a couple that come in and do a quarter or start their build. So, Tommy Emmett will probably come in and do a little bit. Coxie's probably taken a little bit longer than we thought at the start with that infection in his knee. So we'll just make sure we really build him up the right way.
And O'Driscoll as well, is he?
Drew's got a little hot spot in his foot. It's different to the one he had last year, and it looks like, touchwood, we've got it really early through some good reporting and awareness from Drew. So. It might keep him out another week.
How have you found when you recruit Jackson and O'Meara in particular?
Really good. I've spoken a lot about Luke. One of the great things about Luke coming to the club was that he's an unfinished product, and he had so much growth in him. And the way he's approached pre-season, the way he's built relationships with the coaches to improve his game has been first class. So. He looks like he's taken another step forward from his body of work at Melbourne, and he's formed a great relationship with Sean. So hopefully that's a ruck tandem that can give us an edge and give our mids first look. Jagger's been great. He's such a pro, and he's been an asset on and off the field. And it was good to see Josh Corbett get out there and get on the end of a few as well. Last Saturday, he's had a few hiccups since he got to the club, but hopefully we can get some work into him now and he can put his hand up for a spot in the forward line.
Where are you with captaincy?
It's a straight to the point question. Like I've said all along, it's about what's best for the footy club, what's best for Fifey, and what allows us to continue to grow as a club and culture, but also what's best fit to get him back to playing his best footy. A lot's been spoken about the ups or the downs he had last year, and what he went through with his body, and what that led to his mental state. And it was a collaborative approach by the leaders of the football club, Fifey included, to get to the decision that we got to. And Fifey's stood aside as the captain, he hasn't got the title of captain anymore, but he assured me that he's still going to be the leader he's been all along. And that was probably what, along with a couple of other things, that's probably what made me rest easy.
Would you like to see a co-captaincy?
We'll work that through. I'm probably a bit more of a traditionalist. One captain is probably where I sit at the moment, but I can be swayed if whatever's best for the footy club, whatever's best to lead the playing group. One thing I've said all along is that we want to build a depth of leadership at the club, especially within the playing group. We can't rely on too few, and that's something that Fifey's helped create below him as a captain, is being able to create a depth of leadership under him. And we don't want him to step aside and leave a vacuum. So whether that's one captain, two captains, or whatever approach we go with, we can't leave too much too few.
There's a lot of talk about Andy taking over. Do you think he's too young?
Age doesn't play any part for me. It's more the leadership they show in all different situations. So he'll definitely be a candidate, but age doesn't really come into it.
Do you have a timeline, Justin, for when the players will vote in a process to how you come to your next captain?
We'll continue to build our I suppose our leadership development over the next couple of weeks. We do a lot of different things throughout the pre-season to be able to grow leadership within the group. So I want to continue to do that, and I want to continue to allow players who aren't perceived as probably leaders from the outside to be able to step up internally and take some of that ownership of being a leader of the club. So we'll let the process run at least for another couple of weeks, and then we'll find the right time to do a vote, and we'll let everyone know who's going to be the official leaders of the club.
Is it likely just the three in the mix? Is Brayshaw, Sarong, or do you think there could be a left field one?
I don't know. I don't want to put a cap on it. Like, the players are around each other every day. They see who stands up in critical moments. They see who pick each other up when they're doing the wrong thing, or someone needs an arm around them. So that's the beauty of giving everyone a vote, because everyone sees leadership differently. So and the players have a really good understanding of who they feel they want to lead them as a playing group. So we'll do a vote, see what it flushes out, and then we'll work out how many captains, how many in the leadership group, and all that from there.
Do you get a vote, or have you just say do you get in the process?
The coaches get a vote in our leadership. Vote. They're around the players a lot. There's a lot of experience in our coaching group when it comes to being a player leader, understanding what it takes to be a good leader in a footy club environment. So, our coaches get a vote in that.
And do you feel that Fife's coming on as a forward? It sort of looks like he's feeling a bit more at home with it.
Yeah, he's. I've been really impressed with the way he's approached learning his forward craft. He's quite often been the last off the track. First into the coaches to review. So, on the weekend, he showed some really good signs. He got on the end of a lot. He probably didn't have the polish to finish off some of his hard work, but in my opinion, that's the easy part. He created a lot of opportunities. So, he's going to be an asset down there.
Is the forward line where the most selection headaches are coming? there was Tracy, Taberner, Amos, Corbett, Fife, all fit at the same time, which is pretty rare.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's a fair point. Across the pre-season, you tend to split them all up, and they're playing in different teams. So, trying to pick those, or trying to collate those 12 players into 7 or 6 or 7 that you go into a game with is going to be tricky. We've got 3 more games to be able to let that work its way out. Then these things usually do. It's good. It's a good problem to have.
Who do you see sort of getting first crack at the wings? Matty Johnson's been trialled a little bit there, and obviously Liam Henry showed some good signs over the weekend. Yeah,
I feel like those guys. Neil Erasmus spent a bit of time on the wing. Hughes's moved up to the wing. She's been a pretty solid winger for us in the last couple of years. So they're fighting out a good battle for the wing roles. So there's still some match sim and games against both Adelaide teams to be able to work that out. So I wouldn't say anyone in particular is ahead of the race, but there's a couple of wing spots there up for grabs. And like every role on our list, we want to make sure there's competition for spots, because that drives players to get better, and it drives players to bring their best competitive games to everything we do. So we're seeing a lot of that at the moment.
You mentioned Caleb.
Coming off such a great year last year, and I guess the determination is now there. Is this the best pre-season you've seen as coach at Full?
Last pre-season was a good pre-season. It was a really good platform for us. And, the reps we did over pre-season, the work we got into a lot of our playing group held us in good stead across the season. And that's been the same message all pre-season. Sometimes we can, in footy world, we can get caught up, in looking a long way down the track, and that affects you being in the moment. So our goal over the pre-season is just making sure we get the most out of every day. And, I think as a playing group, they've been really prepared for what we've thrown at them, and that's allowed them to maximise the program over the summer. So, I'm not going to judge whether it's the best, but I know it's equal, if not better, than last year. And, the players have really embraced that.
Are you hoping to have a captain named before the official pre-season game, or are you happy for?
I'm not. Yeah, I would like to give our new leadership group an opportunity before round 1 to go into a game and lead the playing group. Whether that's the first one or the second one, we'll work it out as over the next couple of weeks.
Just back on Caleb, Justin, you mentioned his improvement. What specifically are you seeing from him on the track?
Just consistency in his contest work. Yeah, and his leadership's gone to another level. He's his voice, direction, his ability to set those players up around him has been first class. But his contest work and his execution has gone to another level, and that's off the back of the purpose he brings to everything he does. He's a great role model.
And Andy's, do you see another level in him this season?
Yeah, well, he set such a high bar for himself last year, week in, week out. His fitness has gone to another level. He's been working on his hands and his creativity with ball in hand in tight, and he's been able to buy himself a lot of time with the ball. So definitely see elements of his game going to another level as well.
Are you at risk of leaving one of those guys, two of them disappointed, in terms of they've both obviously got strong leadership aspirations?
No, not really. No, because I don't know. Like, you shouldn't be disappointed because you don't have a title. And however it pans out, I expect everyone around the captain to support the captain, and I expect everyone to be able to continue to develop their leadership and improve their leadership like they're improving the footy games, and that's for the future captain included. We don't just have one leader of the playing group. Like I said before, we need a depth of leadership, and we need to make sure that people are always looking to improve their leadership like they are their footy games. So I'd be disappointed if they were disappointed.
How much influence do Caleb and Andy have on their surroundings together?
Massive. They're massive impact. along with some of the other guys in that age group, they've been able to connect us as a club, as a playing group, and they've been able to set an example that is of a really high level. So, yeah, answer your question. Been great.
You mentioned Brendan Cox earlier. How long until you think he's back with the main group doing?
I would think that the Adelaide game he'll play. So, yeah, it's one of those things like the infection looks like it's cleared up. Swelling, he's gone on top of the swelling, and now it's just about making sure, we don't put him out there too early and put him at risk of injuring some other part of his body.
That one happened training or outside?
Well, it happened outside. He had a skateboarding incident, which was not ideal, but it wasn't serious, and scab got infected, so left him in the situation he's in. So it's something we could have stopped.
And you chose not to use the last spot on the list, leave that vacant from mid-season. What's the thinking there?
It's just probably fit a need better if we just left it open and give us a guaranteed spot in the mid-season draft if we needed it. So nothing against the two guys that were here. They applied themselves really well, but we probably feel like it gives us a bit more flexibility to shape our list if we left that open.
You expect to get a pre-season game into O'Driscoll?
That would be our hope. Yeah, the Adelaide game might be pushing the time frames, but hopefully he's available for the second one.